All right, welcome back to the Link Up podcast. To my left, Miss Kisha,
What's going on?
looking fabulous.
As always, thank
How
you.
you doing?
I'm well.
But we have some guests with us in the studio. We have Mr. Julian Foster,
Hello, hello.
and we have Miss Schmarrah McCarthy.
Ah, hello.
How you doing, guys?
Ah,
Pretty good.
Here with us to talk about the Pride Parade happening on June 28th.
Yes.
If I got that right.
You got that very
How many
right.
years now?
This is our first year doing it,
Mm-hmm.
but the Pride Parade has been going on since, I really want to say, like 2019, 2020? Is that accurate? 2021, 2020?
I don't know.
Post-COVID.
That COVID time. Yeah,
Post-COVID.
it's just a blur.
Yeah.
So.
I remember when the PAC government was in,
Mhm.
and we Premier Panton was our premier at the time, and
Yep.
he was like the first kind of big public figure.
Yeah, that was
To be-
the
to
first
be-
parade.
Okay,
That
that
was the
would have been
first parade.
2021 then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
somewhere around
that
there.
would have been when the last government was elected,
Yes.
and he was out there front and center. That was
Wait,
quite a
stick a pin. I could have sworn Governor Anwar, wasn't he in a Pride Parade? Remember, he had like a brief stint,
don't know.
but it's definitely pre-COVID.
Okay.
It's definitely
Oh.
pre-COVID.
Well, definitely Premier Panton would have been 2021.
Mhm.
And I remember that was quite a bold step because you never seen anybody in office take such an outward commitment to supporting the movement like that.
That was obviously one of the early years, and that was kind of my first year kind of just being in a parade as an attendee. And it was so good to have him there. It was just so good to have like government representation saying, hello, we see you, we accept you, and we're here to support you. So it was nice. It was nice.
So were both of you at that parade?
I was not. I did not attend the first one.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what I was doing. I'll be perfectly honest.
Oh goodness. Okay. And what are the times of this parade normally?
So this
And we're-
parade, I'll give you the rundown.
Okay.
Rundown.
Yeah. Let's go.
So 4:30 p.m., June 28th. That's correct so far, right?
Yes.
when it
There
cool
you
it
go.
down.
Exactly. We originally said like 2 p.m., but we're not trying to kill people.
No,
No.
no.
Starts at XQ's, goes down West Bay Road, ends at Public Beach, after party at Bonnie Moon. Great day.
Cool.
Great day.
So how did you guys get involved? Because I remember you saying that this is your first year doing it.
Yes.
Mhm.
So you guys, there's like a committee or
There
some
is.
type of board?
You can take
Yeah.
that.
Well, I, often thought of myself as queen of the gays, so this is just formalizing. I'm joking.
She's
What I
welcome.
call myself in private. Yeah, no, but it was a board, and it was, sort of led by Tara, and so she went out and asked, people she thought would have some community involvement and be really good, particular talents like marketing and whatnot, and that's how this board sort of came to be.
And I love that we all, when she asked us, we were all like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
You
I
were
don't
voluntold.
We were voluntold.
yeah,
But here we are. And like, I think we have a great board, a great committee.
we do.
And it's going to be a great year.
Was it nervousness just from doing board work because everyone is scared of board work, or was it nervousness from putting yourself out there even more in the community and working with this?
I mean, I think that's always something you kind of face as somebody in the community in Cayman. But I think it was more for me just doing it right and the pressure to do it right.
Mhm.
Because you don't want to put on this event and people show up and they're like, I could have skipped that. Or
Yeah.
this didn't mean anything to me. Like, as a representative of the LGBTQIA plus community, you need to show up properly. You can't just show up and hope it works.
Mhm.
You need to make sure that people are represented, that people felt seen, that you're there as somebody who somebody can rely on.
Mhm.
That's a lot of pressure.
So what are some of the aspects that go about, like, I guess, evolving it from like last year into like this year? Or did you guys were you on the committee last year as well?
No.
No. So this is first time.
Fresh.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I've been on a few boards and done a few events, but I think to this level,
Mhm.
this is a first for me. A lot of shit goes into this. Like, you got to think of the police. You got to think of where we're stopping so that traffic can flow. You got to think of make sure people are watered and fed, and you have decor and sponsors represented and social is done right and your committee is on par and like after party is good. Just lots of things,
I think
Like I just want to show up.
in every in every parade, that's probably the most important thing, right? Is food and drink.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you run out of drinks, people are gonna be vexed.
Exactly.
So who's in charge of drinks? You?
No, I
queen
make
of the
a terrible
gays.
drink, and I don't drink at this point. So no, but we we have sponsors for that. And
Okay.
whatnot, so. And the thing is with the Pride, not only is it a political movement, a social movement, it also just has to be, like Julian said, it just has to be a good party too, an enjoyable time. And because it's somewhat of a sensitive issue, it's also bridging the gap between the the participants and allies, and sometimes just general community curiosity, especially with such sometimes a contentious topic. There are people who who sometimes have questions. A larger community wants to get involved. They want to know, what's my place in this. So you also have to answer all of those questions and sort of make everyone feel included.
Now, I believe you work for yourself, right?
I do.
Okay, so you don't.
I do not.
Okay. Is there any kind of anything with your work environment that you have to like get an okay from to be on these boards or to like do these kinds of events? Or does, like, I know some people may be like, we want to kind of remain low key and not like, out there in the public.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm very blessed in the fact that I work in sort of a male dominated field, and let's be honest, you guys aren't necessarily always on top of little details. So there is not that anyone's that interested in my life, but you represent your company well, you represent yourself well. Same thing you would do, regardless. I mean, Julian works for himself, but I'm sure you want to always represent yourself well. So if you do that, no issues.
Yeah, I remember it pretty impressed me when a friend of ours was out there making a movement for her and her wife at the time. And her workplace at the time was supporting her and backing her through that entire process. And I thought that was quite telling, and I was quite moved the fact that the organization stood behind her openly.
Yeah.
I don't know too many organizations that would put themselves out there, especially at that time. Maybe now, 2025, you might so do it.
Yeah.
But years back, I don't know.
It was a bold step, and I applaud those businesses at the time. The thing about sometimes prejudged notions, I don't want to say necessarily prejudice, is they don't really stand up to contact well. It's easy to have a belief about someone until you know somebody intimately, a friend, and you realize that you have more in common than you do than not. And honestly, the older you get, the fact that you're member of the LGBTQIA plus community, it becomes the least interesting thing about you. It's just one of many things. And once people see the fullness of your life, it's hard to pick apart this one, like, well, I don't like that. And I'm like, well, I don't like your hair. So what are we really doing here? Like, are we? You know what I mean? So you realize that you build a foundation on commonalities, and that's everybody in society. So.
Yeah. And I think we've seen a lot of that this year, especially with our sponsors who have come on board. We've had, I think, far more sponsors than I thought that we would get.
Yeah.
And such, big names.
Are you able to share?
Yeah, of course. Can I get my list? 'Cause I'm going to forget.
Yeah, go for it.
Don't want to miss anybody. Where is my list? It's my next problem. Well, Butterfield is on as our platinum sponsor. Butterfield is always amazing at championing diversity and inclusion. So they are definitely one to thank.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Creme Aesthetics is on as a gold sponsor. We have Walkers. We have Collis Krill. Let's Eat. We have Foster's. We have Heights, the agency. Who else do we have?
AMR.
AMR, yes.
Housing Engineers.
Let me look up the rest. Hold on. I feel bad.
Oh, you weren't joking about being blessed.
Hey, happy workers do more work. So maybe that was the idea there.
Yeah.
Make our buildings fall down.
Yeah.
Good incentive. Good incentive. We have Maples Group. We have Kelly Holding, Bonnie Moon. Yeah.
Oh,
So
excellent.
we have a good little
Amazing.
group this year.
Yeah.
You guys have a DJ at the party?
We have 2 DJs.
Because I was thinking, like, because there are some DJs on Island that are in that community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I was trying to remember. I don't want to call it because I don't know for sure, so I don't want to say it. But there's a couple of DJs that I thought that were pretty prominent that were in the community. So I was just wondering if it was one of them.
I'm not quite sure if they're in the community. Like that's definitely a criteria, but putting on a fierce set is the most
That's our
important
main,
criteria.
exactly.
Yeah. Like if your flow in and out of those songs aren't right, I appreciate you're there, but not now is not the time.
Schmarrah's gonna come for you. So I hope you guys are listening.
Yeah. Two suspicious intros, then
Music's
you're done.
definitely
Gotta go.
on you. Okay, so maybe not food and drink, but music. Okay,
Yeah, that's
that's
most
your
important.
policing the music. I got you there. So after this now, what's kind of like the idea in terms of facing, I guess, what you see are any of the issues in the community or what the struggles are moving forward?
I think there's a lot of steps that we could take. I think for us, it's cementing Cayman Pride as a nonprofit that is here for the community. We want to put on a great pride every year. We want to have events throughout the year that community can come together, can support each other. We want to do like family pickleball days, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we want to go into businesses and just kind of educate people on the fact that we're people too, and how you can be a better business, be a better community leader, and how you can support the community.
You ever like approach a business and they like just outright shut you down and tell you that that they're not interested?
Yeah.
Did they tell you why?
No, I think a lot of times they'll hide it behind budgets and time frames and things like that. But when it's a quick no like that, you kind of just get what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this would be a good thing or a bad thing. I know he's kind of might be a little bit loopy these days. But anybody tell you look like Aaron Rodgers?
No,
That's so right.
No, that's the first.
Is that
time.
a compliment?
Is that a compliment?
Or
Well, I mean, like, I don't think it's indifferent. It's just
Okay,
I think he just
okay.
looks like
I can
Aaron
see that.
Rodgers.
I can see that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how to take that, but thank you.
You know who Aaron Rodgers is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You look
And
like
you have the height
young,
for the quarterback.
like a young Aaron Rodgers.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll
He's
take
a
it as a
great guy.
compliment.
You know who Aaron Rodgers is?
No, you know that. I do not.
He's a football player.
Which one?
He plays right now. He plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but
Oh, you meant like football. You
Yeah,
know
like
that I
American
don't
football.
watch football.
yeah.
Soccer.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about Spain, by the way.
Moving on. Julian.
Too soon.
Too soon.
This one is for you, Julian. Are there any other events planned for this year for the Pride group?
Yep. So after party is on the 28th at Bonnie Moon. It is free for everyone to attend. We'll have a welcome drink if you were in the parade. And we're going to have DJs, drag shows, fire dancers, all sorts of things happening at the after party. Which
Oh,
will be,
that is all happening
that's
on
the after
28th.
party. That's the 28th. Yeah.
But do you have any other events planned like for the
Yes.
year?
Calm down.
Oh.
This is our first little foray into the year.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There is brunch on the Sunday. So June 29th at the Marriott, Anchor and Den. They're doing a Drag Me to Brunch event, which sounds super fun.
Cool, yeah.
Drag me to brunch.
yeah.
Who came up with that one?
They did. They're
That's
creative,
fire.
man. They're
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
marketing team was working.
Right? Overtime. So you need to come with your A outfits. I know in Cayman, brunch is a big thing, but a Pride brunch requires a different level of dress. So
Anything Pride related requires another level.
This is true.
Like if you think, I look good, keep going.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
You know what I thought was like, I didn't realize it was so popular. And like even here, like they sell out like drag shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
They're
love
fun.
drag
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
It's just a
Like
good
they,
time.
like they just love like it's I don't know, it's just like a certain energy of all the dancing and everything. It's I heard I can't remember who it was. A friend told me that they went on like a drag bus. So like they rented like this huge party bus. This was like in the States. And they had like these two queens on there and they were just dancing, flipping around the bus and
Sounds
stuff.
great.
Yeah.
People just
Have you
love
done a drag bus?
shows.
I have not. But
neither.
I'm a big fan of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Mhm.
And
Everybody's watched RuPaul.
Yeah, love it.
And I think the thing is, when you are so unapologetically yourself, whether you agree or disagree,
You
can
root for 'em.
respect
Yeah.
the fierceness, and that allows you to be unapologetically yourself. So I think it's that infectious energy that people love.
You know what? That's so true. I don't really think I grew up knowing anybody that didn't like RuPaul.
No.
Like everybody, like you said, everybody respected RuPaul and everybody watched the show, even though you may not have. But even back then, this was like way back before it was, you know, even
Yeah.
remotely like acceptable
Yeah.
to be out there.
Well, I have a theory about that. That doesn't come from the LGBTQIA plus community, but there is something in the human spirit that recognizes the pursuit of excellence or the pursuit of authenticity, which is why I'm not a rock climber, but I'll watch Alex Honnold's free solo because you're like, wow, this person is doing just what they want, just what they were meant to do.
Right.
And we see that and respect that in each other. So I just feel like that authenticity will always connect, which is why I always pursue that.
And you always put aside whatever you see of that person, all immediately just goes away, and you're like, that's an amazing person.
Yeah.
Person.
Yeah. And when you see someone doing what they were meant to do, you can always recognize it.
Yep.
And when you see someone trying to do what someone else was meant to do, you recognize that as well.
It's like when you have like those someone that may be in the community and they go on like one of the singing shows or whatever, like American Idol or America's Got Talent, and they just absolutely kill it.
You don't gotta go that far. You could stay right here. The people that run for politics.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What I mean? Some of them weren't meant to be there, but some were meant to be there.
Oh.
I didn't know what we were.
Where are we going with this one? This is, we were gonna go left.
yeah,
Feel like we were gonna go that one.
I saw another like. What we doing? I'm not afraid to go there. I am not.
Right?
I am not.
But no, like, you know, it's just like no matter what that person identifies as or whatever, they have like the most amazing voice. You're like, you're cheering for that person. You want them to win.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what. So it really does come back to what you were saying before, that, you know, just being a part of that community that's not your whole identity, right?
Right. No. Exactly.
You can dislike someone that's in it, dislike someone that's not in it, just based on characteristics of them. A lot of people like to, just because you may be queer or lesbian, gay, whatever the disposition is, people just paint you with that brush and that's all you are.
Yeah.
And I will judge you just basically only on that. You don't have anything else about you that's interesting, just that, and I will write you off because of that.
Yeah.
And I think slowly now people are starting to come around and being a lot more open to things. I was talking to a friend of mine. I don't know if he wants me to name drop him, but he was talking about how he came out and how his grandfather was extremely homophobic and racist growing up. And over time, you know, before he passed, his mindset changed so much, where he had friends that were of all colors, and he was accepting of the family members that were in his own family that were gay. And that transformation that happened because of, you know, just growing up with the times, learning more, hearing more, and just becoming more accepting and open-minded.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, what's different is often scary. And sometimes as human, we take that for granted. And I think sometimes we judge other people's starting points a bit too harshly. And maybe we should give people the room to grow, right? Which is why I'm not really a fan of canceling anybody, because I feel like if you move enough people to the margins, you get further radicalized on the margins.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I mean, obviously you don't take on what people have to say and you don't have to entertain it. And if wherever you are in your journey doesn't align where I am, then I wish you well. But if in 5 years you do have that arc of understanding, I feel like we should let you back into the fold, because why not? I mean, we've all evolved on some issues, right?
Yep.
So,
Because I guess, like, you know, you said, you know, we shouldn't judge too hardly based on, you know, someone's, I guess, disposition. It's like when you meet someone who grew up in a certain geographical area and is of a certain age, it's like, well, what do you expect them to be?
Yeah.
Because that's all they ever knew, right? You know, you might meet someone who grew up in the deep South and is like, you know, 80 years old. Chances are they might be racist.
yeah.
You know, you shouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like,
True.
I'm not saying that it's right.
No,
but
yeah.
you know, you have to have an understanding that people are conditioned to the climates that they're in. You know, and some people don't even have the opportunity for growth because they only stay within their own echo chambers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we see and experience living and being from the Caribbean. My dad is he is the epitome of a people person.
I love your dad.
We all love my dad, but sometimes I'm like, Woody, like, I don't, what? Like, how do you have this in you? Like, his big thing is people are people.
Yeah.
And people only know what they know.
Mhm.
So you need to give them the chance to
Yep.
explain where they're coming from, and you need to see both sides,
Mhm.
because otherwise you're just as bad as they are.
I want to get into more about your family and stuff growing up when we move on. Oh, can you give us the socials and stuff
At Cayman Pride,
at Cayman Pride? That's
Easy.
for Facebook and
Facebook, Instagram. We don't have a website yet because we're just starting out. We're small, but Cayman Pride, Facebook, Instagram.
any emails, or it's just the DMs. The DMs are work
Slide
the
into
best.
our DMs.
I think DMs are the new emails.
They really are.
Like
Someone should
emails
say.
are just like, whatever now. It's like so
Emails are
formal.
like facts.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna do with that?
Yeah. Just DM, bro. Let's go.
Yeah.
Get into the DM.
Emails are like facts.
Yeah, no.
I can't take you.
All right. Appreciate you guys coming through. Julian, I want to interrogate you a little bit more.
Yep, I'm here.
Appreciate you. Schmarrah, hope to have you back. It's a
Oh,
pleasure
would love to be
seeing you.
back.
Thank you for coming on. And any questions, hit them up at Cayman
At Cayman
Pride.
Pride.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all, man.